Here is John 19 verses 28 to 37 from the English Standard Version, ESV. John 19 verses 28 to 37, ESV. 28 After this, Jesus, knowing that all was now finished, said, to fulfill the scripture, I thirst. 29 A jar full of sour wine stood there, so they put a sponge full of the sour wine on a hyssop branch and held it to his mouth. 30 When Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, It is finished, and he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Jesus' side is pierced. 31 Since it was the day of preparation, and so that the bodies would not remain on the cross on the Sabbath, for that Sabbath was a high day, the Jews asked Pilate that their legs might be broken and that they might be taken away. 32 So the soldiers came and broke the legs of the first, and of the other who had been crucified with him. 33 But when they came to Jesus and saw that he was already dead, they did not break his legs. 34 But one of the soldiers pierced his side with a spear, and at once there came out blood and water. 35 He who saw it has borne witness, his testimony is true, and he knows that he is telling the truth, that you also may believe. 36 For these things took place that the scripture might be fulfilled, not one of his bones will be broken. 37 And again another scripture says, They will look on him whom they have pierced. Expounding on the passage. John 19 verses 28 to 30. Jesus, in these moments on the cross, fulfills another prophecy. The saying, I thirst, brings forth the fulfillment of Psalm 69 verse 21, They gave me poison for food, and for my thirst they gave me sour wine to drink. Jesus is given sour wine, demonstrating the humble, lowly position he took upon himself to fulfill his mission. When Jesus says, It is finished, he signals the completion of his mission on earth, to die as the atoning sacrifice for the sins of the world. This declaration signifies that the work of redemption was accomplished. John 19 verses 31 to 34. The practice of breaking the legs of the crucified was done to hasten their death. This prevented the crucified person from using their legs to lift themselves up for a breath, thereby causing them to die more quickly from suffocation. However, when the soldiers reached Jesus, he was already dead. This unexpected occurrence leads to another fulfillment of prophecy. By not breaking his legs, the soldiers unknowingly ensured the fulfillment of Psalm 34 verse 20, He keeps all his bones, not one of them is broken. Additionally, the piercing of Jesus' side and the outflow of blood and water have significant theological implications. Some interpret the water as symbolic of the Spirit or the new birth, and the blood representing the new covenant and forgiveness. John 19 verses 35 to 37. John emphasizes the trustworthiness of the eyewitness testimony, asserting its truthfulness to encourage belief in the reader. John's Gospel is very intentional about demonstrating the ways in which Jesus fulfilled Old Testament prophecies, and this is evident in verses 36 and 37. The quote, Not one of his bones will be broken, comes from Psalm 34 verse 20 and Exodus 12 verse 46, which pertains to the Passover lamb, a symbol of Christ. The second quote, They will look on him whom they have pierced, is from Zechariah 12 verse 10, foreshadowing the morning that would come upon the people when they realized the gravity of what they had done in crucifying the Messiah. Overall, this passage beautifully interweaves the reality of Jesus' crucifixion with the prophetic scriptures of the Old Testament, highlighting Jesus as the true Messiah and the culmination of God's redemptive plan.